Welcome to The Blitz, your primary source for high-stakes professional football coverage and breaking news from across the gridiron. The landscape of the National Football League was shifted on its axis this week as one of the most improbable comeback stories in the history of the sport began to unfold at the Indianapolis Colts headquarters. The headline that has every analyst and fan buzzing involves none other than the legendary Philip Rivers. At 44 years of age, an age where most players are long settled into retirement or broadcasting booths, Rivers has stepped back onto the active roster. This is not just a minor story about a veteran taking a few emergency snaps. This is a seismic event about the defiance of time itself and the absolute desperation of a franchise in need of leadership. Philip Rivers' NFL return has been the single most dominant discussion in sports media since he walked into his Indianapolis Colts press conference on December 10th. The atmosphere was electric, a mixture of disbelief and nostalgic excitement as the 8-time Pro Bowler reclaimed his place in the professional ranks. We saw him step into the huddle in Week 15, immediately taking live snaps in a game of significant importance. While the result was a narrow 18-16 loss to the Seattle Seahawks, the implications went far beyond the final score on the scoreboard. Rivers threw for 120 yards with a touchdown and an interception against a Seattle defense that currently ranks 7th best against the pass. Consider the context. Rivers had not played a down of professional football since the 2020 season. No quarterback in the modern era of the NFL has ever stepped away for that long, returned at his age with almost zero practice repetitions, and handled live game action without appearing completely overwhelmed. For a Colts team that has been absolutely ravaged by injuries at the quarterback position, this veteran presence was not just helpful, it was essential. Now, this successful individual performance is forcing a much larger conversation to take place around the league regarding the longevity of elite pocket passers. The NFL has certainly seen late career legends hang on before. Tom Brady famously played into his mid-40s, and Aaron Rodgers is still competing at a high level at age 42. However, the Philip Rivers situation is fundamentally different. This was not a gradual decline or a slow fade into the sunset. This was a full stop, a multi-year hiatus, followed by a sudden restart years later. It is a precedent that could become a growing trend for teams that find themselves bereft of healthy, experienced signal callers. On Monday, the narrative took another fascinating turn in Pittsburgh. Former Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was being inducted into the franchise Hall of Honor. Naturally, the media was quick to ask if the 43-year-old Big Ben would ever consider following the path blazed by Rivers. Roethlisberger admitted that while he is not planning a comeback right this minute, he did not shut the door entirely. He noted that his right arm still works just fine, though he joked about the rest of his physical state. That hesitation is incredibly telling for the future of the league. Like Rivers, Roethlisberger retired while still possessing significant arm talent. It was the cumulative physical toll that eventually wore him down. Now that Rivers has demonstrated that an older quarterback can still contribute in the right situation with the right timing, the expectations for retired legends are shifting. Pittsburgh currently sits at 8-6, leading the AFC North, so they have no immediate reason to look backward. Yet the fact that Roethlisberger even entertained the idea publicly means you can never truly take the possibility off the table. Meanwhile, back in Indianapolis, the focus is squarely on the upcoming schedule. Head coach Shane Steichen officially announced on Monday that Philip Rivers will be the starter for the high-profile matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. This decision, confirmed by team insiders, proves that the team views Rivers as more than just a temporary bandage. This return has also reopened the statistical record books for the veteran. Those 120 yards against Seattle brought his career total to 63,560 passing yards. He is now remarkably only 528 yards behind Ben Roethlisberger for the 6th spot on the NFL's all-time passing list. Big Ben was quick to offer his respect, expressing total disbelief and admiration that Rivers was able to compete at that level after such a long layoff. With 3 critical games remaining in the regular season, that all-time passing milestone is well within reach for Rivers. Much of the decision regarding the depth chart will depend on the recovery of rookie Riley Leonard and the status of Anthony Richardson, but for now, the veteran holds the keys to the offense.
If Rivers can find a way to secure those 529 yards, he will move past Roethlisberger and join an elite tier of names including Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers. That is exceptionally rare company to keep. While this late-season surge does not necessarily redefine his entire career, it adds significant weight to his legacy, especially as the Hall of Fame discussions begin to ramp up again. Rivers will not be eligible for the Hall of Fame until 2031, but in that selection room, longevity and career volume stats carry immense weight. As we look ahead to Week 16, all eyes will be on how the 44-year-old handles the fierce pass rush of the 49ers. Can the old gunslinger pull off one more miracle for the horseshoe? The story of Philip Rivers is no longer just about a comeback. It is about a legend attempting to rewrite the final chapter of his professional life. Stay tuned to our network as we continue to track this developing story. This is the drama that makes the NFL the greatest spectacle in sports. Rivers is back, the records are falling, and the league will never be the same after this winter.